Hey, what's up guys, it's Texmer talking to you here, and as you can see, I'm back at my usual setup. What setup do you prefer, this one or the last one? The last one was on my vacation home, this one is my regular home. I will be back at my usual from the last 3 weeks setup in the next week, but for now we'll have a video here in my older setup with different lighting. I know you prefer the older lighting, but that's what I got right now and I have to get used to it. But in this video, I want to talk about the M1X MacBook Pros 14 and 16 inch and what are we expecting, and I'm going to recap all the leaks also because we are 2 months away. And today DigiTimes released a very sketchy report talking about the fact that all the events that Apple is planning for the September, October and November timeline are going to happen during the September month, which is pretty weird, but it goes according to their older leaks talking about the fact that the 14 or 16 inch MacBook Pros would come in September. But it's DigiTimes. We gotta remember that they have a track record below 60%, and that's pretty bad for a leaker. So let's see if this is not a very reliable source, so let's see if this leak ends up incorrect. But I think it's very strange because the fact that Apple never has an event, 2 events in the same month, because one steals the hype from the other, and it's pretty weird. But I'm expecting, because I have a video on that here, I'm expecting to have 3 events, and Mark Gurman also talked about having 3 events. I'm expecting to have 3 events, one for iPhone, Apple Watch and AirPods, one for iPads and one for Macs. So this will go accordingly like last year, September, October and November. Right now I'm expecting Macs to come out in November, iPads in October, and iPhone and Apple Watch and AirPods on September. But before we go deep on these new M1X MacBook Pros, we'll intro. The M1X MacBook Pros, every time we think they are close, they get a little bit further. So we thought they would come out on a March timeline, they were delayed until June, according to leakers. Then everyone was telling us that they will come out on WWDC in 2021, but as we know, it didn't. So every leaker failed that day. Then they started telling us to expect them on October. And now that we are almost 2 months away from October, we got a leak from DigiTimes saying that they will come out in September and every Apple event will be available in September. So their leaks corroborate each other, but it's pretty strange. This is not a very reliable source. According to Apple tracking, only has around 60%. I mean, they could be correct, but it's not the most reliable source. If it was Mark Gurman, I would believe right away, but as it isn't, I don't think it's correct. And I think this is bullcrap, because if you think so, Apple is not going to make 3 huge events, the new iPhone 13s, which are huge, the new M1X MacBook Pros, which are even bigger, and the new iPad mini, which is interesting to say the least. So Apple wouldn't put them on the same month and ruin all the hype for the product. So I think that Apple will do 3 events, September, October and November. On September they will release the iPhone 13, AirPods Pro, Apple Watch Series 7. On October they will probably release the iPad mini 6, in my opinion the iPad Air 5 and also the iPad 9, the new redesigned iPad 9. On November, of course, we will get the most expected product of 2021 from Apple, which is the M1X chip. And together with this new chip will come out 3 new computers, the M1X MacBook Pro 14 inch, the M1X MacBook Pro 16 inch and the M1X Mac Mini. All of these 3 products will be redesigned. The M1X MacBook Pro 14 inch will follow the design trend of the 16 inch, which will be squared off corners, thinner bezels, new displays, of course mini LED, Touch ID with a ring, the keyboard from the Magic Keyboard from the 16 inch and also more ports, which are very important, not forgetting the M1X chip, while the M1X MacBook Pro 16 inch will follow the same design rule, just a little bit bigger, better batteries and better speakers. The batteries on these new computers are expected to be huge, like the 16 inch MacBook Pro will have a huge battery, 99 milliampere battery or 99 watt battery, the max capacity that you can travel with on a plane. So these new M1X MacBook Pros would have insane battery life because the M1X chip would have 2 high efficiency cores and 8 high performance cores. These 2 high efficiency cores would be good to make the M1X MacBook Pros last a long time. Remember, the M1 MacBook Pro and a MacBook Air had insane battery life. The M1 MacBook Pro had 20 hours of battery life with a 44 I think it was a 44 watt battery. So imagine having double that in terms of battery and having a chip that is almost as efficient as the M1. So Imagine that with all the performance that comes with the M1X. That's why I'm very excited. We could see a 24-hour computer on our hands on the next 2 months, and I'm very excited for it. The GPU should be also improving a lot. According to Max Tech and other YouTubers, this GPU would be insanely good for its price and for being in a laptop. This GPU would be just insane, and you'll be able to be playing a lot of games, doing a lot of 3D rendering, 4K like butter, 8K like butter, just like incredible, better than some GPUs that were available for the Mac Pro and better than every other GPU available for the MacBook Pros and iMacs 27-inch. So I believe that these new GPUs would be insane, and this M1X will be just insane with a 32 GPU core or a 16 if you are probably going for the 14-inch. But these two MacBook Pros will be just insane. I think the demand for these computers will be just so big that Apple would be delaying the deliveries for months. In my opinion, they won't be able to keep up with the mini LEDs and the chips. So if you want a MacBook Pro M1X and 14 and 16-inch, when it comes out, buy it right away. Try to reconfigure it while Apple enters the pre-buy time, so when they announce it until Friday, you'll be having 3 or 4 days to try to configure your computer and choose, and then when it goes live, please just go into the Apple Store if you want to buy it and buy it right away. Don't have any second thoughts, because it might delay your computer months. So the two MacBook Pros are just the demand for those are just insane and huge, so I wouldn't expect if Apple sold out in the first minutes. Then we will see the M1X Mac Mini. The M1X Mac Mini will be redesigned, to say the least. It will be a comeback to the past. While Apple had that first Mac Mini with a glass top and white corners and a white aluminum case. That's the case that John Prosser has leaked. The new design for the M1X Mac Mini. This design, as I told you, will be a throwback to the past with a glass top and all of these nice features with more ports and I/O, bring the total 4 Thunderbolt ports to the M1X Mac Mini and more HDMI and more Ethernet ports. They will be cool and very important to this new computer. The M1X Mac Mini will be the best value per performance that you can buy, because it will be a $1,100 computer with the best chip that comes from Apple and the best performing chip probably on the low to high end laptop market. So this M1X Mac Mini will be probably even better value than the M1 Mac Mini. So with better I/O, better support for 4 Thunderbolt ports, better GPU, better processor, this M1X Mac Mini should be almost the Mac Pro with Apple Silicon. Probably it will take you over to the Mac Pro Apple Silicon, but this M1X Mac Mini we are expecting to be the best one that comes out of this event in terms of value. But in my opinion, the MacBook Pros are the stars of this event, so we should expect the M1X Mac Mini and the two M1X MacBook Pros to come on November, as I told you, and Mark Gurman has corroborated that, and John Prosser will have more leaks when coming to this event. So let's see what happens on November, October, September. I'm very excited for this timeline. Let's see if Apple can get over the hype and can deliver us one product that can live up to the hype that the leaks have been building. Let's see. But we will probably be disappointed, because the hype right now is so big that it's almost impossible to catch it up. But what are your opinions on this matter? Don't forget to leave them on the comments down below. Don't forget to leave a like, turn on the notification bell. We are almost 200 subscribers. Let's go. And follow me on Twitter and Instagram. This is Texmer talking to you here. Bye.